Reading a little bit from a book, Worlds Without End, The Many Lives of the Multiverse by Mary-Jane Rubenstein. You're making coffee? Hmm. Page 7. The more physicists learn about the fundamental laws of the universe, the more remarkable it seems that we exist at all. The constants of nature, which among others include the strength of gravity, the mass of the electron, and the strength of the nuclear forces, have values that seem precisely calculated to allow life to emerge somewhere in the universe. For example, if the nuclear force were just a little bit stronger, then all the hydrogen atoms in the infinite universe would have fused with other hydrogen atoms to make helium, and there would be no hydrogen left. No oxygen means no water. On the other hand, if the nuclear force was substantially weaker, then the complex atoms needed for biology could not hold together. If gravity were any stronger, it would crush anything larger than an insect, whereas if it were weaker, planets and stars could never have formed. And if we double the mass of the electron, one day intones what has become a common litany. Life as we know it would disappear. If we change the strength of the interaction between protons and electrons, life will disappear. If we have 4 space dimensions and 1 time dimension, then planetary systems would be unstable and our version of life would be impossible. If we had 2 space dimensions and 1 time dimension, we would not exist. All these scenarios are instances of what physicists call the fine-tuning problem. Each of the constants of nature seems as if it has been set just right to condition our existence. One quality that theoretical physicists share with philosophers, and that both groups share with children, is the tireless capacity to ask why. Theoretical physicists cannot, or at the very least, do not simply accept these parameters as such. Why, they ask, are the parameters so delicately calibrated? Why does each of these constants have the value it has rather than any other value? Why is the universe configured in such a way that it allows the existence of theoretical physicists to ask why it's configured this way? One possible answer, of course, is that an all-powerful deity set each of the controls just right, so that not only life, but conscious life might emerge. To be sure, this argument is not properly scientific, yet it has encroached on physicists' terrain with increasing insistence over the past 50 years or so, provoking frustration in most of them, acceptance in a few, and abject rage in others. Most commonly called, quote, the intelligent design theory. The attribution of fine-tuning to divine activity has its roots in Thomas Aquinas' 5th proof of the existence of God, the teleological proof, or the argument by Frumens. It finds its most colloquial Enlightenment age articulation through Cleanthes, Cleanthes, a character in David Hume's Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, 1776, same year as American independence. A spokesperson for natural religion, as distinct from revealed religion, whose spokesperson is Demia, and from skepticism, whose spokesperson is Philo, Antes, Cleanthes, argues that any careful observation of nature will lead one to affirm the existence, omnipotence, and benevolence of God. Quote, look round the world, he entreats his interlocutors. Hmm. 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 So that's an introduction, just an introduction to uh, the multiverse. The multiverse. Multiverse. Actually, the word multiverse comes from William James, apparently, page 3. The one and the many, the term multiverse seems to have been coined by the psychologist philosopher William James in 1895. Remember, we had read William James's varieties of religious experience. In Is Life Worth Living? An address to the Young Men's Christian Association at Harvard University, James expressed his sense, which he imagined his audience shared, that, quote, visible nature is all placidity and indifference, a multiverse, as one might call it, and not a universe. This is William James, 1895. What he was trying to evoke in this term was the post-Darwinian feeling that the natural world around us suddenly figured as a female as changeable and cruel. James goes so far as to call her a harlot to whom we owe no moral allegiance. As Wayne Proudfoot has explained, the term moral for James is not restricted to ethics, but extends out to the scope of human existence itself, in the sense to ask whether the universe is moral or unmoral is to ask whether it is shaped to human thought and action. That's enough for now. You can read the book. Just get the book. I'm trying to not make any money, so I didn't make any. This is one way to not make any money, by reading this book. In another multiverse, I actually make money. We're reading from Mary-Jane Rubenstein, who is, I've been to Westland, actually. Westland University professor of religion. So she's doing a thing about physics with religion.